Is overthinking actually protecting you from making bad decisions? Or is it the very thing ruining your peace, your timing, and your life?
Tonight, we're breaking down whether overthinking is wisdom or just fear in disguise.
Does overthinking protect people from making mistakes?
Or does it cause more problems than it prevents? It's time to tap in.
Yo, yo, yo.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time to
It's time.
It's time to
tap in.
tap in. To tap in.
To tap in.
To tap in.
Tap in.
Tap, tap, tap in
To the healthy
debate.
debate.
Welcome back to the Healthy Debate, where we talk about the things people feel but don't always say out loud.
Today's topic hits home for a lot of us: overthinking.
Some people swear it keeps them from making mistakes.
Others say it creates problems that didn't even exist in the first place.
So, which one is it? Is overthinking protection or self sabotage?
Let's see what you got. Where we going with this?
All right. So, we got side A with it, right? So,
Mhm.
overthinking is protection. Maybe. Some people think it helps you avoid impulsive decisions, forces you to consider consequences, can prevent regret, or it feels like control in uncertain situations.
I can see that. I can see that. I mean, there's a couple of them that I would sit there and consider like I've been an overthinker before. So has it helped? Has it forced me to consider consequences? 100%. Does it feel like I'm in control of in certain situations? 100%. When you overthink, because now you are sitting there in this limbo land, like overthinking occurs when people are not communicative. So
Communicative. Is that the big word for today?
that's the big word for today is communicative. Yes,
This episode is brought to you by the word
communicative.
communicative. Brought to you by Rod.
Oh my goodness. So, however, when you say like can prevent regret from what?
I don't know because I don't know. See, okay. Hi folks, I'm an overthinker. And I just overthought my answer because guess what? I don't think that it helps you prevent prevent regret. That is a tongue twister. Why we got those words
Mhm.
like that?
Mhm.
Anyway, I don't think it helps you prevent it. However, it can cause regret because you can overthink a situation to the point where you don't do something, or you may end a relationship because you overthought something that if you would have just communicated with that other person about, you would have had a clear answer.
Mm. What if you don't feel like communicating with them because they don't communicate with you?
You don't need to be in that relationship.
Overthinkers unite. So, over overthinking isn't the problem then?
Overthinking? No, yes. I don't know. Let me think about it.
Okay, you think about it. Because I was gonna say, it isn't the problem, right? That's the thing. Overthinking isn't the problem.
Overthinking is not the problem. The bad decisions is the problem. And
Okay.
I don't agree with overthinking helps solve them or prevent them. However, when you overthink, coming from an overthinker, sometimes I overthink things and I'm just like, I knew I was right. I just had to paint all these different scenarios, kind of like how women go shopping. We got to go through each and every store before we find that one item. Whereas men go to the store, get those items in one singular line and they right back out, you know,
Oh, so when you overthink, are you always right?
98% of the time.
98% of the time.
Absolutely.
Now, even when you're right in those situations, are you self-sabotaging?
I used to be. I've learned my triggers and I've learned how to identify when I'm about to self sabotage, and I know when to sit down and be like, "Hey, let's put a check on that. What's going on? Why are you feeling this way in this moment?" So, although I can overthink that situation in itself, I know how to recognize it and address it accordingly. If that makes sense.
Okay. Well, that's my side B.
Let's go.
I'm gonna say that it's overthinking is self-sabotage. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay. It creates anxiety and fear-based decisions. It leads to missed opportunities, causes indecision and emotional burnout, and makes small problems feel bigger. So, this is what happens when you don't have a clear cut indication of what's going on. So, when you overthink, you just self sabotage everything. Literally.
So, I mean, a lot of people don't know about the process of overthinking, right? Like for me, when I'm overthinking, it's because I've seen something, maybe a pattern, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
am I really seeing it or am I about to self sabotage? So, again, recognizing those triggers, those patterns within yourself, and seeing, hey, what's going on here? What's happening? You know,
I get you. I mean,
are you a self sabotager?
I don't know if I'm a self sabotager as much as I am an overthinker, if that makes sense.
Overthinking is self
I,
sabotage. That's what they
I'm
say.
just saying for the people that like to use it to self sabotage. Because remember, just a minute ago, you said it's protection, right? So a lot of times, overthinking just can be protection, and I feel like that's what I use it
Hmm.
for the most part. But I honestly do know when people are using it for self sabotage.
How can you tell the difference?
I, when they're overthinking a situation that includes you, and you know that that situation isn't to be true, you can feel as if it's self sabotage, like they're self sabotaging because they don't know how to handle the situation.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. But when the situation requires you to almost allow yourself to feel a little bit more secure in a situation, you're trying to protect yourself. A lot of times people will overthink to protect themselves from making the decision that might be brash or, you know, not well thought out. Just random. Like maybe this is a situation, maybe I shouldn't do this or whatever because whatever. So maybe they're using that as a sort of protection. I've done that before.
Hmm.
I've done that recently, right? Because if I don't feel safe or secure in the situation that I'm in, like, yeah, you know what? And I overthink something. A lot of times when I'm overthinking, it's not me really overthinking. It's me paying attention to what I'm seeing, even if it is overthinking, right? If I overthink something, I may not have to overthink. It's still getting me to a point where I was like, maybe I should go this route because this don't feel safe.
But does that really help? Is that really a good thing to do?
I mean, does it help? Maybe. I mean, what's it supposed to help?
I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Does it help anything? What's the outcome? What's your end game with that? End goal, end game.
I think. I mean, for me, if my overthinking gets me to a decision that I'm making based off of protection, um, in this stage of my life, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Because if I make a decision and then let's say the decision I made or a situation I was in involving multiple people, that person comes to me and says something like, no, this is what, then okay, maybe it might be something different that I need to think it through. However, if those things don't occur, you typically think that your overthinking was accurate. So just like this is how my mind works. If I do something to overthink and I make decisions based on my overthinking and there's nothing to show me otherwise, it's gonna make me think what I thought was accurate.
Yeah. Here we go with this agreeing stuff again. I'm the same way because that's why I said 98% of the time I'm right though. Like,
That's a very high percentage. I would go more like 92, 90, maybe
well,
80,
that's
20.
for you. For me, 92 because I've kept a tally of how many times I've been right and how many
Not a
times.
tally.
Yes, a tally. I have a notebook.
All right.
Yeah, I have a notebook. I was right
Okay.
about this. I was right about this. I was right about. Oops, I
I'm
missed
mad
one.
that you kept a notebook.
How else am I going to keep count of how many times I've been right?
You don't need to. Wait, who does that?
Me.
Okay, that's fair.
Mhm.
Fair.
Why not? I mean, because
Question asked, answer given.
okay, do you delete anything in your phone?
Yes.
You delete old messages?
Yeah,
Why?
because I don't need them.
Okay, I keep all my messages. I got messages in phones from
Yeah,
2015.
but we're different. And the reason why we're different, why you women keep old messages, is because you like to go back to the messages and be like, I got receipts.
I
Y'all
mean,
keep certain messages for a reason. Like, no,
when you go to the store, don't you get a receipt?
no, I don't. I like to save the trees. I don't need the receipt. For what? What's the
You can
receipt
have it.
for?
You can have a receipt emailed to you.
Okay, but I don't do that neither. What's the point? I'm buying it. If it's something I'm consuming, I don't need a receipt to say that I bought this and I'm going to eat
I
it.
do because if I got to return it, I want that receipt to say, "Hey,
I'm
I
not.
bought this. Take it back."
I'm not doing all that. I'm not returning everything. Don't listen. The only time I return something if it's like big items, like it's like furniture or whatever, and I need a receipt or parts or something like that. Yeah, cool. But if I just went to go get a sub from the deli and then no, I'm not doing all that. Keep your paper for
No,
what?
I mean for food and stuff like that. No, I'm not. I
Mm-mm.
don't need the receipt.
I don't need all
But
that.
my electronics, my things, right? My things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
I keep a
You
receipt
can
for that.
email me. Just email me.
You
It's
know
still
what?
paper.
Are you
Just
a tree
paper.
hugger? Are you a tree hugger?
I
Okay,
might be. I might be. I look. I recycle. Don't you?
so let's be real. People who don't think things through are the ones always dealing with consequences. Overthinking is just being careful. Do you agree?
Okay. You said people who don't think things through are the ones always dealing with consequences.
Mhm.
Overthinking is just being careful.
Yeah.
I I well no. No, no, no. I mean I am pro overthinking, but in this case I'm gonna say no because there's a difference between being careful and being stuck. So overthinking isn't clarity, it's just fear repeating itself.
Say that one more time for me, because you
So
didn't conceptualize that right.
I said there's a difference between being careful and being stuck. Overthinking isn't clarity, it's fear repeating itself.
I don't think so. I think so. Let me overthink that.
Look,
Look,
I'm taking the other side on this. That's why I'm giving it to you because I know you're an overthinker. So I'm taking the other side of this.
but you are an overthinker yourself. You said
No,
that.
no, no, no. I said I have overthink before.
Here we go. Here
And
we
it's
go.
not something I do all the time.
Here we go. All right. So you disagree that thinking things through prevents mistakes?
Does it,
It
or
does.
does it just delay decisions until the opportunity is gone? I mean,
No, no. Let's think about it. Let's really think about it, okay? When you overthink, have you ever heard of the burnt toast theory?
the burnt toast theory.
Yeah.
Explain.
Okay. So we all know about the tragedy of 9/11, right?
Right.
All right. So have you ever gotten ready to leave out the house and either you leave your phone, your keys, something that you were supposed to take with you, and you have to turn around and go back in the house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It delayed you, right? You may have been a little
Correct.
bit late.
Correct.
What if that delay was saving you? That's the same concept of the mind of an overthinker.
Right. I understand the concept of their mind. What I'm saying is,
It's safety and protection.
I feel like it just delays decisions until the opportunity is gone.
No, because if you overthink a situation and you turn out to be right, you proved your your concepts in your head, right?
Oh wait. You want me to agree with you what you're saying right now?
I want you to take it in and think about it.
I'm taking it in. I'm
Are
taking
you
it in.
thinking about it? You could take it in and not think about it. You could take it in and blow it out your ass. Um, but are you thinking about it?
I'm thinking about it. I'm just saying, like, there are certain times when I'm not gonna 100% disagree that thinking things through prevents mistakes. Okay, that does matter. But the reason why I said does it delay decisions until the opportunity is gone? Because sometimes when you overthink, you might actually be missing out on something. So a lot of time overthinkers will sit there and delay decisions, right? This is the anti-overthinker. This is the anti-overthinker. Delays decisions until the
I
opportunity is gone,
get that. However, for
right?
me, because I am an overthinker, I've overthought decisions and then, okay, a flight that I was supposed to take, I overthought it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go. It's just something ain't right with it. Come to find out, the whole airport got shut down that one time that I overthought a trip. So I felt good about it.
I mean,
How you on my-
that was one occurrence. That was one occurrence, and nothing wrong with that.
Okay, what?
And I wouldn't say that's overthinking. I think that's intuition, but it's okay.
You know what? That should be a topic. Intuition versus.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I
I
don't know
don't.
if it was overthinking. So you're talking about intuition versus overanalyzing?
Right. I did overanalyze and overthink because I was like, but if I go now, then I can't do this and I can't do that. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like there was a million and one thoughts going through my head. So I was really overthinking the trip and ended up not going. And my mom even was like, aren't you glad you didn't take that trip? Because look what happened. You wouldn't have left anyway.
Right. You weren't supposed to go on that trip. There
I
was
mean,
no
that's
overthink.
a topic
There
for a
was
different
no the overthinker in you didn't have nothing to do with that.
It did.
It didn't. I know you want to.
Spontaneous
I
side
know
of
you want.
no,
No.
if the spontaneous side of me would have taken control.
We would have been on that plane like it.
First of
Yes.
all, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. No matter what you would have did, that plane wasn't going to travel. It
I don't
was not in the cards for you to travel in on that plane.
I don't know that.
I don't think of any amount or level of overthinking would have fixed that. That was supposed to happen. I think it
Okay.
was intuition. So,
So are you saying not everything should be rushed?
not everything should be overanalyzed to the point you never move. We literally just said that.
Yeah, we did. However, all right. Perfect scenario. You ever rewrite a text like 10 times and still don't send it?
No, I ain't never done that shit. I may have done it like once, maybe, but it's only because of grammatical errors. But I think women do that. Y'all do that. Y'all start typing, then y'all and then y'all start typing again, and it's like y'all like human typewriters. Y'all type it out, and then y'all.
Not too much on the women. Not too much on the
Just
women.
saying. I'm just saying. Y'all typically do that because y'all want y'all approach to be right.
I'm gonna tell you why I do it.
Why?
I do it because sometimes when I'm thinking about what I'm writing, I'll read it and I'm like, that don't sound right. So now I'm rewriting it because I'm like, are they gonna get what I'm saying? Because of the way that I think, I'm thinking about 4 or 5 different things at once. And now she coming up judging me. What the hell?
You saw that? Yeah. She came up like.
That was mad weird.
That
Okay.
was hilarious. That was
Um,
hilarious.
but no, like sometimes I will overthink things to the point where I'm like, if I send this, are they gonna get the message? So then I'll end up deleting it and send an audio message and like, let me know if that makes sense. If you ever pay attention to when I'm talking about something, I'd be like,
Hmm.
does that make sense to you?
No, I've had that happen to me,
Hmm.
so I get that. Understandable. How about this one? You ever talk yourself out of someone who actually likes you?
I have. I have.
That self sabotage shit is crazy.
It
I,
is.
I was dealing with somebody who did it quite often in conversation, right? And I never said anything about it. Never said anything about it, but it was very apparent to me when the person was saying it
Hmm.
in conversations. Like, wow, like you're really trying to self sabotage yourself out of the situation. It might have been the reason why we stopped talking. Who knows? Because they were
Exactly.
looking for a reason out, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, that's crazy. Overthinkers.
I have absolutely self sabotaged to the point where my good sis was like, yeah, you sabotaged that on your own because you were overthinking it. Like, you should have just
Hmm.
sat back and let it happen. And then come to find out later, me overthinking, I dodged a bullet. So it was like, did I really self sabotage though?
I mean, you can't reflect off back on a self sabotage moment because situations went through their normal course. That's unfair. It
Right.
could have been different. It could have been different when it was you. Like you understand, like everything is going to be different because you're not sticking to the same. You know what I mean? It's not this. It's not the same course. It's you're not in the same life course as you would have been had you have followed through without self sabotaging. It might have been different. So that's not fair for us to just assume that you dodged a bullet because the situation didn't fall in the way it needed to for that person.
Okay, okay, okay.
I said what I said.
You said what you said, but you ever miss chances because you're waiting for a perfect decision?
I think everybody has. I mean, does it have? Okay, so I always ask this question: does that happen more with men or women?
I think it happened more with men.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
You think men miss more chances because they're waiting for a perfect decision?
absolutely.
Mm, that's crazy.
I do.
So what? Okay, so give me a
That
scenario.
that answer didn't even feel right
It
because
didn't even feel right, did it? It
no,
didn't feel right at all. Because I'm
I
sitting
tried
here
to
like
go with the I tried to go with the women's side, and I'm like,
I'm
ooh,
like looking around
it
like.
just took like 10 points off my aura. I'm over here like, what the hell?
See, oh my god! You know what I need? You know
Oh,
what I need? I need a sound. I need the sound. I need that one sound. When the Mario loses, he goes from big to little. That's the
yes.
that's the sound that I need. I need that shit because
For me,
that's listen. That's literally what that felt like.
for
Um.
real. You said
Oh
my
my god.
my voice went from little to big.
No, not even that. But like the whole. Let me see if I can. Because this will be funny as shit. When something hits him and he shrinks.
Oh,
That poop, 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 like that shit.
what you talking about? Why are we so off topic?
I'm sorry, but that shit is funny.
Okay, let's come to a middle ground here.
Okay.
Maybe the real issue isn't thinking; it's how long and why you're thinking.
Hmm. Okay. All right. All right. Middle ground. Okay. All right. So it's not thinking. You said it's not thinking. It's how long
How long
and
and why
why
you're
you're
thinking,
thinking. Well, okay. So let's break it down. So are you thinking to understand,
or are you
or
thinking to control every possible outcome?
I mean, okay. So I feel like people are thinking to control every possible outcome because like okay, when you overthink, You are thinking to understand, but you're not understanding shit because your mind is like in chaos, right? You don't have any clarity. So I think I think thinking well, I think thinking to understand actually should bring you clarity. The other probably brings more anxiety.
Okay, so one does bring clarity, one does bring anxiety
But
because
which one? Which one do you think?
I know which one brings the anxiety because I've done it to myself before, and that's the overthinking to control every possible outcome.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
So,
sense. You don't think thinking to understand could bring any anxiety at all? Because if you don't get clarity from that, if you don't get clarity, like if you're thinking to understand and you don't get the answers, will you be anxious about it?
um, if I think back on situations where I was thinking to get clarity and I really didn't get the clarity, it didn't bring anxiety. It brought more so concern on why I didn't get the clarity.
Okay. So you're still trying to understand why.
Mm.
You're still in that under. I need to understand, right? I need to understand so I can get over this. I can move forward. I get it. So that's why you said one brings clarity and then the other one. I get
Yeah.
it. All right.
All right. So, to our audience, do you think overthinking has saved you or cost you more?
Hmm. Hmm. That's a good one. So if you're watching this on YouTube, if you peep this on TikTok, the question is, do you think overthinking has saved you or cost you more? You got another question for him?
I do. I got about four more questions, and
Oh, let's go. Let's get him.
y'all can sound off in the comments and let us know what you think. Don't forget tap in on TikTok as well, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Check us out. Y'all like us, right?
Yeah, look. Y'all can even email us right there too. Y'all can email us right there.
Email too. So email us what you want us to talk about. Email us the topics, discussions, and if we should start letting y'all on the panel. Never know, that might just happen.
Might happen.
Another question.
Okay. What you
What's
got?
something you overthought and later realized it wasn't that deep?
Oh. I'm intrigued to see what people want to say on this because
Okay.
we be thinking about overthinking a lot of shit. But it's cool. What you got?
Is overthinking intuition or insecurity?
We were just talking about intuition too.
I'm not even gonna give my answer on it, but I
I'm
know
not gonna say.
one of the eyes, but I ain't gonna say which one.
I'm not gonna say it either. I don't want to give no. I don't want. I don't want to make anybody like give them an idea of why they should answer. I'm not saying anything. I do want to
Yeah,
hear what y'all got to say in the comments.
we're Switzerland in this. This
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah. This is all y'all.
Have you ever missed an opportunity because you couldn't decide?
Ooh, this is gonna be a good one for women because y'all a lot of y'all are indecisive.
Don't do that. Don't do that. The internet is already divided, men versus women.
Listen,
You're the listeners and the viewers.
look, I'm just saying, like a lot of women are indecisive. It's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to see what the
We're
answer
going
is.
on to the next question.
All right,
Do
go ahead.
you trust quick decisions or slow ones more?
Mm, that's gonna be a good one. I'll answer that one.
Nope, 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 nope.
All right, I won't.
We're gonna move on because
All right, let's keep it
overthinking is
spicy.
just fear dressed up as responsibility.
Okay. Overthinking is just fear dressed up as responsibility. Let that
Mhm.
shit sit in for a minute.
Yeah, pause and let that sit. Okay, sitting is over.
Okay, cool. All right. Um, let's see. Let's close. Let's do some closing thoughts here.
Okay,
Overthinking might feel like protection. Okay. But real growth comes from trusting yourself, even when you don't have all the answers.
because
Okay.
at some point you have to stop thinking and start living.
That's right. And don't listen to anybody that tells them YOLO, you only live once. That's a lie.
You
You
live
only
every day. You
and you
only
only die once. That's right. So, um, that was really good though. I like that one.
you liked it.
Yeah, I did that. I like that one. That was
I don't
cool.
know. I'm thinking about it.
You overthinking?
I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I feel like I missed saying something.
You missed saying so. You have more to say? You can say anything you want.
I feel like I had a lot to say, but I can't remember.
Go ahead. You can still tap in. We live. Shoot.
I know we live, but
What you want to talk about?
see, that's my overthinking side coming in because I'm like, did I really say everything I needed to say?
Okay. Well,
Look, y'all, this was the healthy debate. Make sure you follow, share, and join the conversation because some of the best answers come from different perspectives.
and remember, not every thought deserves your attention.
Yes, it do. We said what we said. We challenged some perspectives and maybe even shook the table a little.
But that's what a healthy debate is all about: growth, reflection, and real conversation.
Remember, sometimes in life you may need to tap out, step back, breathe, and reset.
But don't forget to tap back in because your voice, your growth, and your journey still matters.
If something we said today made you think
Laugh.
or even disagree,
Guess what? We did our job. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the conversation with someone who isn't afraid of a little healthy debate.
until next time, stay open minded, stay motivated, and keep showing up for yourself.
This is the Healthy Debate with Rock and Lady J. Until the next episode, y'all.
Peace
Peace
out.
out.